Good morning, happy welcome back. How are you? I hope you are great. Did you get your bowl? Is it packed? Are you ready? Take your pills and then get your morning keep you alive juice. And if you don't have that, you can do the keep other people alive juice. It's coffee, by the way. And then let's hit our bowl, take our pills, and let's read this. Warning. Warning. Remember, we are still on the story of the seven brothers because it wasn't graphic and in detail the first time. So the second time, it is graphic, pretty brutal. I actually did this once before, but like I said yesterday, this stuff does not make me feel happy. Like, das Juden get what they deserve. No, it does don't feel like that at all. As a matter of fact, it's kind of very disrespectful to find joy in this, I think. Um but just know it is exactly 10 o'clock in the morning, and this is this is not a great thing to wake up to, and I cannot wait for it to be over because I don't know, it's written like it should be a scary movie or something. It's just like not very many novels I've ever seen go into this gruesome of a detail. So, I don't know. But anyways, hit your bowl and buckle in because it's about to be some shit. And some of it I will just leave up here on the screen so you can read it because it's some shit. And I apologize, but hit your bowl and let's listen to this scary story. And not scary, horror. It's a horror story. And I bet I don't know what I bet, but I bet something because I don't want to read this. I don't want to read this. Okay. So, Maccabees 4, chapter 10. Okay. So, we've done the first two brothers. Now we're on the third brother. And many repeatedly urged him to save himself. They wanted him to eat the meat, so he got his pudding. They're like, eat das meat, you get das pudding. Right? And he shouted, y'all motherfuckers are stupid. Their mom and dad is my mom and dad, so bring it the fuck on. And enraged by the man's boldness, they disjointed his hands and feet with their instruments. Okay. They broke his fingers, his legs, his arms, and his elbows. Since they were not able in any way to break his spirit, pretty much they ripped him open like a werewolf. Like they were the werewolves. And then they brought him in to the wheel. And while his vertebrae were being dislocated, He saw his own flesh torn all around. You can read this, right? Okay. When he was about to die, he said, Yo, fuckface, we are. Oh, no, hold on. You, fuckface, are suffering because of our godly training and virtue. But you, because of your impiety and bloodthirstiness, will undergo unceasing torments. When he died, they dragged the fourth. So here we go. This is the fourth brother. He's got three left, and then a mom. Okay. And then they were like, eat das meat, get das pudding. And he was like, let's go to the court case. Fuck versus off, right? And he's like, you guys are fuck faces. I will never, never, never eat das meat to get das pudding. Not gonna happen. No, by the blessed death of my brothers, by the eternal destruction of the tyrant, and the everlasting life of the pious, I will not renounce our noble family ties. So, fuck off, right? Like, fuck you. Go ahead, do what you want to, ass fuck. Go ahead, so you can learn. So you will know. I'm related to those guys, and you're still a fuckface. But when he heard this, the bloodthirsty, murderous, and utterly abominable Antiochus gave orders to cut out his tongue. And I think this guy is Greek. This is a Greek guy. I thought he was Judah or Israel or something. No, I think he's a Greek guy. But then he said, even if you remove my organ of speech, God hears also those who are mute. See, here is my tongue, cut it off. For in spite of this, you will not make our reason speechless. Gladly, for the sake of God, we let our bodily members be mutilated. God will visit you swiftly, for you are cutting out a tongue that has been melodious with divine hymns. God's gonna fuck you up, dog. God's gonna fuck you up. Right? So, that was worth reading. Alright, give me just a second. We're gonna go to 11. Give me 1 second. Okay. So, Dustin wouldn't give me a hug. He was like, what the fuck? And I was like, can I have a hug? And he's like, I guess so. He didn't even ask me why. And I didn't even tell him why. But I said, I just need a hug. But it's because of that story. I did not like that at all. This is not a fun story. There's nothing cool about this story. This is shit. When he too died, after being cruelly tortured, the fifth leaped up, saying, I'm not refusing, tyrant, to be tortured for the sake of virtue. I have come of my own accord, so that by murdering me, you will incur punishment from heavenly justice for even more crimes. Hater of virtue, hater of humankind, for what act of ours, are you destroying us in this way? Is it because we revere the creator of all things and live according to his virtuous law? That would be negative, Ghost Rider, because none of you live according to his virtuous law, because your law has been changed from the beginning. So there you don't live according to his law. Well, this guy might, but I know they don't now. But these deeds deserve honors, not tortures. While he was saying these things, the guards bound him and dragged him to the catapult. They tied him to it on his knees, fitting iron clamps on them. They twisted his back around the wedge on the wheel, so that he was completely hurled back like a scorpion. All his members were disjointed. In this condition, grasping for breath and in anguish of his body, he said, Tyrant, they are splendid favors that you grant us against your will. Because through these noble sufferings, you give us an opportunity to show our endurance for the law. When he too had died, the sixth, a mere boy, was let in. when the tyrant was like, you eat the food, and he was like, fuck you. Right? Since to this end we were born and bred. Kinda. Kinda. God, I don't think God likes you people either. We ought likewise to die for the same principles. So, if you intend to torture me for not eating das meat, go on and fucking do it. When they said this, they led him to the wheel. He was carefully stretched tight upon it. His back was broken and he was roasted from underneath. See, what the fuck? What the fuck? To his back they applied sharp spits that had been heated in the fire and pierced his ribs. Okay. So they toasted his guts, and while he was being tortured, he said, God is good all the time. Okay. So he said, God is good all the time. For religious knowledge, O tyrant, is invincible. Have you ever seen Fallout? They made a god out of the fog. So there's always going to be a god. I also, equipped with nobility, will die with my brothers. I myself will bring a great avenger upon you, you inventor of torturers, and enemy of those who are truly devout. I don't think he's the inventor of tortures. I don't think it's this guy. It's an Egyptian of some kind. We, 6 boys, have paralyzed your tyranny, since you have not been able to persuade us to change our mind or force us to eat your shit. This is gonna be your downfall. But your fire is cold to us, and the catapult's painless, and your violence powerless. For it is not the guards of the tyrant, but those of the divine law that are set over us. Therefore, unconquered, we hold fast to this reason. See, part of me thinks none of these words happen. And the only reason I think of it, oh, that's for me. Hold on. Just real quick. The only reason I think that the boys didn't say this is because he talks about how everything is all about reason. And that's what this whole book is about. Hold on. Okay, that was my dad. Sorry. Asking if I took my pills. But anyway, I don't I don't know. I really don't think the 6 brothers so far have said these things. I think the writer wrote this because the beginning of this book is all about the philosophy of reason and how it overrules your emotions, right? And the kid said this. I don't think they said any of this because they're going with the premise of his philosophy, right? The premise of this whole book is about reason. Okay. When he too, thrown in the cauldron, had died a blessed death, the 7th and youngest of all came forward. Oh, here we go. This is the sad part. Died the blessed death, the 7th and youngest. Okay. Even though the tyrant had been vehemently reproached by the brothers, he felt strong compassion for this child. When he saw he was already in fetters, he summoned him to come nearer and tried to persuade him, saying, "You see what happened to your brother. Why? Why are you doing this? You are the youngest of all of them. Don't you care about your mother?" Right? And then he asked the mom to come forward and was like, tell the little guy, right? And his mother had said something to him, right? And he's not going to tell you what she said. And then the kid was like, "Let me loose. Let me speak to the king and all of his friends." Extremely pleased by the boy's decoration, they freed him at once. Running to the nearest of the braziers, he said, Hey, dickhead, since you have received good things in your kingdom from God, were you not ashamed to murder his people and torture on the wheel those who practice religion? Because of this, justice has laid up for you intense and eternal fire and tortures. These things throughout all time will never let you go. This this is a Mushroom Head song. This is Mushroom Head. As a man, were you not ashamed, you most savage beast, to cut out the tongues of men who have feelings like yours, and are made of the same elements as you, and to maltreat and torture them in this way? Surely they, by dying nobly, fulfilled their service, but you will wail bitterly for having killed without cause the contestants for virtue. Then, because he would too was about to die, he said, I, I, I'm ready to die, right? I am ready to die, and I will ask God to have mercy on my nation. But on you, he will take vengeance, both in this present life and when you are dead. After he uttered these imprecations, he flung himself into the braziers and ended his life. Oh, so he did it on his own. He said, fuck you, King Face. Fuck you, King Face. Oh my god. Okay. Okay. Alright, let's see how long this one is. Oh my god. This one's not long either. Oh, we're gonna fucking do it. Man, we're gonna fucking do it. Okay. Alright, give me 1 second. I need to get some more coffee. Hold on. Okay. Now we're gonna hear the moral of the story. But I want to say something real quick. The thing about that word yesterday, Ethan was kind of right. Okay. That thing that's in the Bible that it was talking about is pronounced different. It's brazier. Because I asked Dustin. And brazier is a bra, but it's a French word. And we are pronouncing it wrong. Americans are Americans are pronouncing it wrong. Oh my god. I can't breathe. Huh. This stupid tracheotomy thing makes it hard. Now we're gonna hear the moral of the story. Since then, the 7 brothers despise suffering, even unto death. Everyone must concede that devout reason is sovereign over the emotions. Have you ever met an American liberal? Because they think their emotions are reason. Can't find my reason, but the liberals have a reason. For if they had been slaves to their emotions and had eaten defiling food, we would say that they have been conquered by these emotions. So, did you make up this story about the 7 brothers? And I guess you're racist against Scythians, Scythians. I don't know. But in fact, it was not so. Instead, by reason, which is praise before God. They prevailed over the emotions. You are not supposed to praise anything before God. Sure as the fuck not reasoning. This is not true. The supremacy of the mind over these cannot be overlooked, for the brothers mastered both emotion and pain. Mind over matter, body control. How then can one fail to confess the sovereignty of right reason over the emotion and those who were not turned back by fiery agonies? How then can one fail to confess the sovereignty of right reason over emotion and those who were not turned back by fiery agonies? Well, wouldn't it be trust? That trust in God is why. This guy. This guy. I was agreeing with him until this and that over there. Because reason is not worshipped before God. And it's trust in God, not reason. It's trust. But okay. For just as towers jutting out over harbors hold back the threatening waves and make it calm for those who sail the inner basin, so seven towered right reason of so the seven towered right reason of the youths, by fortifying the harbor of religion, conquered in the tempest of the emotions. I don't know. See, this is what I'm saying. This was not written in the Old Testament time. Maybe it was written by a priest, but I do not believe this is written in the Old Testament times. There's no fucking way. So the seven towered right reason of the youths, by fortifying the harbor of religion. See, back in Old Testament times, it was not called religion. It was called trusting God. But okay. For they constituted a holy chorus of religion and encouraged one another by saying, see, this is not right. This is not right. That's not right. Brothers, let us die like brothers for the sake of the law. Let us imitate the three youths in Assyria who despise the same deal of the furnace. Bleh, bleh. I don't want to read it. I don't want to read this. Okay. Let us not be cowardly in the demonstration of our piety. While one said, "Courage, brother," another said, "Bear up nobly." And then the other reminded them, "Remember whence you came, and the father by whose hand Isaac would have submitted to being slain for the sake of religion." When did that happen? And no, it's not. It was for the sake of the temple. If Isaac was being slain, I don't remember it, but it was for God. It Each of them and all of them together, looking at one another, cheerful and undaunted, said, "Let us, with all our hearts, consecrate ourselves to God, who gave us our lives, and let us use our bodies as a bulwark for the law." Yeah, see, they didn't call it religion, they called it the law, right? The Mosaic Law. Let us not fear him who thinks he is killing us, for our for great is the struggle of the soul. The struggle is real. And the danger of eternal torment lying before those who transgress the commandment of God. There's only 10 of them. How hard is it to follow the 10 commandments? There's only 10 of them. Therefore, let us put on the full armor of self-control, which is no, what are you doing? No, you put on the full armor of God on your spiritual bones. What are you doing? This is not right. This is not right. See, he's making the shade. He made it up. What is this? What is this? Is not. For if we die, Abraham, Isaac, and Jake, so Abe, Isaac, and Jake, will welcome us, and all the fathers will praise us. Let those who were left behind, those who were left behind said to each of the brothers who were being dragged away, do not put us to shame, brother, or betray the brothers who have died before us. You already put yourself to shame, people. This is happening because you pissed off God. You could have just followed the rules, assholes. You were not ignorant of the affection of family ties, which the divine and all-wise providence has bequeathed through the fathers to their descendants, and which was implanted in the mother's womb. Wow, this is a whole lot of saying nothing. And you could have just said God. See, that's what I'm saying. I think this guy was paid by the word, because this is a whole lot of saying fucking nothing for no reason. There, each of the brothers spent the same length of time and was shaped during the same period of time and growing from the same blood through the same life. They were brought to the light of day. See what I'm saying? Like, this guy, this was not, no. When they were born after an equal time of gestation, they drank milk from the same fountains. So they had the same mom. They sucked the same titties. From such embraces, brotherly loving souls are nourished. This is not, no, why? Why do you need to say this? Why does he need, see? And they grow stronger from the common nurture and daily companionship, from both general education and our discipline in the law of God. Therefore, when sympathy and brotherly affection had been so established, the brothers were more sympathetic to one another, since they had been educated by the same law, trained in the same virtues, and brought up in right living. They loved one another all the more. A common zeal for nobility strengthened their goodwill toward one another and their concord, because they could make their brotherly love more fervent with the aid of their religion. It's love of the law, the law, not religion, the law, the law. But although nature and companionship and virtuous habits had augmented the affection of family ties, those who were left endured for the sake of it. This should be the law. See, this is why it wasn't written in Old Testament times. This is the wrong word. This guy. This is the wrong word. This is not a word the Old Testament would use. This guy. While watching their brothers being maltreated and tortured to death. This guy. I don't like. This guy is perpetrating of the Old Testament. All right, we'll be done there. So, thank you for watching. I love you and have the greatest day ever.